Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Technology Mafia here with a review of my new old Porsche Boxster. This is a 2000 Porsche Boxster S convertible. So here it is. I'm going to do a quick 360 just to show you what it looks like from the outside. We're going to look at the inside as well and go on a little drive. So dual exhaust in the back, you can see that's the Boxster S. It has the S badging on the back. Convertible top. These are the sport wheels, and as you can see, the brakes are the huge Porsche brakes with red calipers that come off of the 911. In addition to the brakes, the 6-speed manual is from the 911. So this is a sweet little car. Anyway, so I'll open the door. There it is. It's a black leather interior. You can see the seats and carpets in there. So we're going to give you a little bit more of a tour on the inside, but right now what we'll do is we'll hop in and we'll start it up and go on a little drive. Alright, so when you close the door, you can see when you open them, the windows go down a little bit, and then you close them, they come back up to seal it. My seatbelt here. The key, this is what the key looks like. It has a lock and a trunk release button on it, Porsche emblem. You don't start it on the right, you start it on the left side, which is kind of a unique feature. So clutch in. Go. So start this up here. So you can see the instrument cluster. This car has just over 100,000 miles. It just hit over 100,000 miles on it. A huge tachometer in the middle, speedo on the left, and then you have some other gauges, the temperature up and then the fuel. There's a little light on that says that the rear spoiler is down, which is another feature that we'll show you. So yeah, here it is. So I'm gonna drive just so you guys have a sense. Reverse on this manual gearbox is all the way over. It kind of clicks up. You brake down, and we're off. Right. And so if you've never driven a Boxster, particularly a Boxster S, you'll notice that everything in this car is very sport oriented and very stiff. So the steering wheel, very stiff, the clutch is stiff, the shifter is stiff. It's definitely not as easy to drive or easy to learn stick shift on this car. But you get used to it, just like you get used to a BMW's heavy steering. You get used to this steering. It's heavy when you're slow and in parking lots, but once you get up to speed, it's actually not that bad. So here in the center console, you have your temperature. You can set up whatever, not dual zone or anything fancy like that, but you could set whatever temperature you'd like. Manual settings, defrost, you could hit auto. The CD player is a little drop down thing like that. We have a little CD in there, you put it in, close it, has a radio, obviously no CD changer on this car. And then down here, this is very odd, I found when I purchased this car, but you see the cool Boxster S badging. This is the equalizer for the radio. Why they made that a separate thing, I have no idea, but that's kind of it. So here we go. The cool thing about the gauge cluster is that we do have a digital speedometer here that shows you how fast you're going. So right now we're going 23 miles an hour. We're going to make this right turn, and you'll hear the engine. It's smooth sounding. Here we go. It's quick. This engine is 250 horsepower or so. It does 0 to 60 apparently in 5.5 seconds, which I haven't tested, but I do believe that. And the ride is the impressive part, I think, about this car. So the handling, as you can imagine, with the engine in the middle, which we'll show you later, the handling is pretty impressive, but beyond that, the ride is not what you'd expect. So you expect a firm, almost harsh ride, but that's not the case in this car. I actually just came back from a road trip driving it through 5 states, and it's a smooth highway cruiser. The engine note is nice and subdued, so when you're going 70, 80 on the freeway, it's just as quiet as any other car, even with the bigger tires and low profile, or bigger wheels and low profile tires. So here we are in 6th gear, going 50 miles an hour. Slow down. So windshield wipers are here. The interesting thing about the windshield itself is I noticed when I purchased this car, there's this line, and I don't know if we can get that on camera, but there's this line in the middle of the windshield. And at first I was like, what is that? It's like a defrost or something. I wish it was a defrost, but no, that's actually the radio antenna. So AM/FM is built into the windshield, which is kind of a cool design. What we'll do is we'll take this car out on some fun hill roads just to see how it handles. While we're getting there, I'll talk more about the interior. There is no glove box. Why? Don't know. But there is a bunch of neat storage in this car. So there's a little single dense spot in here that fits your cell phone perfectly, or iPod or something. There's a little, I don't know what that is, like an ashtray in there. In the back, if you look over, there's actually a storage compartment in here that's kind of big, that you can put some books, some manuals maybe. There's a little bit of space behind the seats too. There's a center glove console compartment that's pretty small. The cool thing about the doors is they have a nice kind of deep area where you can put cool stuff in both doors. And that's pretty much it for internal storage. What we'll do is we'll actually pull over and show you how the drop top works. There's another Boxster owner. Oh, that's funny. Just waving. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm going to pull over right here. And the way you operate the top is pretty simple. So what you do is the parking brake needs to be up. And then all you do is you push this button right here. Then you pull on this latch. The windows automatically roll down, and then you push and hold this button, and you'll see that the whole top retracts and goes into the back, and you wait for that light on the dashboard to come off, and that means you are good to go. And now you are driving in your convertible. So things will be a little louder now. There might be a little bit of wind noise, but that's all part of the experience. So here we go. It's a little bit chilly today. Not the best top-down weather, but the sun is out, even though we're covered by clouds. So I'll talk about the steering too. Normally with most cars you drive, the steering is pretty dead. I mean, you don't feel small undulations on the road. This is a very lively steering unit that Porsche's put into this car. You definitely feel the road surface through your fingertips. So you'll see the steering wheel kind of shake a little bit here and there. The faster you go, the rougher the road, the more it shakes. It takes a little bit of time getting used to it. It's definitely a change from my past couple of cars, but this is a sports car and you expect it to be a little different. Right, so here we are. Go up into the hills a little bit. There we go, so second gear. Third gear. That's 80 miles an hour. And so the top-down driving is pretty interesting. It's not as bad as you'd expect it to be because there's this plastic window behind where you sit. So it's almost like driving with sunroof open. It's really not that bad with the windows up. With the windows down, it definitely does tug at your hair. But this engine is just amazing. So smooth, so torquey, and in a car that weighs this very little, the handling is just amazing. The engine's right behind us, so the front wheels are just doing the steering, the rear wheels are powering everything. This is what it's all about. Alright, so yeah, it's quite a fun car, as you can see from the clips. We're going to slow down and see if we can just pull over right here. As I mentioned before, I was going to show you the storage on the outside. Pull in front of this biker here. Alright. So, park it. Alright, so let's get out, take a look around. So one thing about this car you'll notice when you sit inside is you do sit very low. The trunk release and for the rear is here and for the front is here, so pop that, pop that. So here is the back trunk. So you have your coolant oil dipstick here, and you have decent size trunk. It's not big, but you could fit, you know, maybe a small set of golf clubs or a carry-on bag. This is the spoiler that I mentioned or may have not mentioned, but at 75 miles per hour it comes up to provide additional stability. We walk around the car. Here's the fuel filler, which is a cool location. On the front, on the passenger side, you got your fancy Porsche badge, or Porsche, depending on where you're from. I'm going to open this up. And so in here you have a deep front trunk with a spare. And then you have an amplifier, some windshield washer fluid maybe, I believe. And then you have I'm sure there's a battery under here, but I'm not going to mess around with your fluids here. This is probably the radiators. Yeah, so you got your headlights with integrated, I think these are fog lights. You pull back, I'll show you where the light switch is. So come around this side. So where your ignition key and then your light switch. You turn on the lights, go like that, and then you pull back, and that'll turn on those lights. So let's go walk back around, and you'll see they're on. Maybe they're not on because the car's not running. But anyway, it's there. So yeah, there it is. That's my new Boxster. Fun little car. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below, but rate, comment, subscribe. Got a lot of hits on the GTI and the Veloster video, and this is something new, something different, a little more fun than those other two cars, but also an older car. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.